pressure now. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Watching, I'll let you know. Does Bigfoot equal the New Jersey Devil? No. Jersey Devil will beat up the Bigfoot any day of the week, for sure. Let the woman lead. Smart move. They didn't have any peppermint scent. No, they didn't have it. Next time I go looking to have some custom ones made, I'll get it. But I also wanted to make it so everybody would like it. So citrus is a really nice, clean smell that I think most of us can get on board with. It's a pretty good smell. So just waiting for Outside the Lines to go live so we can invite her on in. Nice to see you there. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Spirit Sponge. I hope you're feeling better. When are you going to Gettysburg? Dakota Dyers asked. So check out the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and that's when I'll be there. I believe it's at the end of July. It's the last weekend in July, and we'll be there. We'll be having a lot of fun. We're having a great time. I'll be there. I'll be doing readings at my table. So if you want to skip the long line, make sure that you come and get your reading in person in Gettysburg. It's a first come, first service sort of thing, so make sure you're doing that. Monty's World, as usual, with my dates, 25th, 26th, and 27th. So that's July 25th, 26th, and 27th. And what's really great is if you go to Gettysburg for the Gettysburg Paranormal Bash, is all of the profits from that that they collect at the door go to the Wounded Warrior Foundation, which is really awesome. New follower from Dallas. Hey, Dallas. Nice to see you there. Welcome in. That's Lawyer. Ooh, uh-oh. Hands up, Lawyer Lackey. Put your hands up. That's what everybody says when you're like, I'm a cop. And they're like, oh, I didn't do it. Yes, you did. I know you did. I can see right through your nonsense. Thank you for sending out the confetti, Joanne. I appreciate it. Welcome in, everybody. Is everybody having a nice day? I hope so. Just waiting for Outside the Lines. You don't live far from Gettysburg, so come and visit us. Oh, it's Rachel Devilwoman's birthday. Hey, Rach, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Rachel. Happy birthday to Rachel. Happy birthday to Rachel. But you never heard your name pronounced that way. I do what I can. Here we go. Out of the lines.
Did I do it right?
Did you do it?
I did it.
Good job. Welcome.
Look at how fancy I am.
You are the fanciest. You figured it out.
I figured it out. I had time to stop my nursing stuff and put a sweatshirt on and get comfy cozy.
I'm not wearing any pants, so we did the opposite.
Nobody's got to know about the sweatpants and the other stuff.
No, I'm not wearing pants.
Not necessary. Not necessary.
Unnecessary. It's not necessary to tell you, and it's not necessary for me to wear them. So,
and this is a free pop night. So if you already didn't have your pop, I already talked to Dawn. So I'm just saying,
I can just do whatever I want.
You pretty much, yeah. I'm giving clearance to Trump Dawn. She'll have my. No. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. No, I know what pop is. Dawn's like, it's soda. I'm like, I got it.
It's soda there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here we go. Here's where it all starts to unravel, everybody. If you are watching and you're in my audience, this is Outside the Lines. And why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica. I'm a nurse, and I do a lot of fun things on social media for free that started before COVID. But once COVID hit, I really started doing a lot of them for free. People are having a lot of anxiety and depression, grief. So I started doing some of what I do live to help people kind of chill and find a way to meditate without actually putting the word meditation in it, which that's the word people. It's kind of like the word spirituality. I'm not a big fan of that either. So I just like to call it journey. And it's not really meditation. It's just art. We're just drawing.
Yes.
That's what we do.
I found out early on that when I would use the word meditation, people would literally start, the lights would go out in their eyes and they drift away. And I was like, you're doing it. You're meditating. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, let's not use the word meditation. Let's just use the word daydream. Whenever you remove yourself from your consciousness, basically, and think about something else that's not right in front of you, it's basically meditation. That's all you have to do. So what you do is really neat and unique because you like to do these things called tangles. And I said to you when I first started watching you, I was like, I do that, but I didn't have a word for it. I just sometimes I meditate or daydream, and I just let my hand draw whatever it wants. And you have a word for that, which is tangles, which is really neat. And yours are insanely impressive because they're super intricate. And what is going on while you're doing that?
It is mindfulness for one. So it's literally making me take pause in the present moment, essentially. I have to leave everything that's already passed alone. It's dropping everything from the day. And the first thing we do when we tangle, especially when they come live to do it with me, is we start with gratitude. I don't care who just goes, hey, wait a minute, I want to be perfect. I want to be number one. I want everything to fall where it's supposed to. It is the perfect way to teach your ego when it's got to sit back, because that happens in mediumship. And that happens when many of you are card readers or things like that, because our ego will read everything much differently than when we let our intuition open up, which is what meditation does. But for us, it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. And your mind just melts and goes, oh gosh, this is so nice. I don't have to think of anything. I'm just going to keep repeating this same thing over and over and over again. And I just sit there and guide you. And I say, stop holding your breath. Stop holding your breath. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And people go, how did you know that? Well, number one, I'm intuitive, but it's just, we all do. It's just the nature of being perfectly imperfect human beings, right? That's what we are. We're imperfect. And so I'm trying to just change the world one tangle at a time, just knocking away that ego and having people go, it's okay that I am not perfect. And I am going to start just letting all this stuff that I'm holding on just go. Just let it go. We hold on to so much stuff we don't need. And for so many people in your lives, I feel this so much. So many people are in mediumship and they're watching you to be able to do what you do. And it's not my calling at all. Once you let all this stuff melt away, anybody can do what Scotty does. No offense, Scotty, but anybody can do what he does. But number one, it takes a lot of work. Meditation is the word. You can change it however you want to, but you have to be able to take and clear the energy. Energy is very important. Everything is consumed of it. So here's a fun little example. Everybody take your hands, rub them together. This is a fun at-home exercise. Everybody's going to take your hands, rub them together, and you're creating friction, right? Which is energy. Hold your hands away and slowly bring them together. As you start to bring them together, you'll feel what feels like opposing magnets. When you feel that, that's energy. And you can actually roll it into a ball and move it. Now, many of you are going to say, I can't do it. It's not working. You got to give yourself some time. But all of this is energy, and it's just taming it, setting the ego aside. It sounds really easy, and it can be. It's as hard as you make it, essentially.
Yeah, that's something I try to teach people with all this. It is as hard as you make it. As soon as you just turn it on and essentially let your ego take that step back, the rest of it is fine. And I think we definitely agree on the fact that you can if you can put your ego away and stop being afraid of being wrong, you're going to go really far. That's something that I had to really focus on in the beginning, because I would get hurt feelings like a lot of us would. Like, what do you mean I'm wrong? This isn't right. I know it. I can feel it. I can see it. I can hear it. Everything that is always right feels right. And then what I started understanding is that that's just my ego trying to push something into place where it doesn't fit. And that's where the part of it where I say now is I never now try to stretch anything or make it fit, because it's not what I want it to be. It just is what it is. And once you just focus on the fact that it is just what it is what it's going to be. You can't change it. And you put that ego away and let yourself just ride into it. It's all comes through. And it's when you said, anybody can do what I do. I say that all the time. You all could do this.
The minute you pull, you try and stretch it. That's the ego immediately coming in, because the ego is going, well, wait a minute. We can make this work.
Yeah.
And you can. And, even on these apps, you will find card readers that do that all the time. Anybody can take a tarot deck, an oracle deck. I have 500 decks back there. Anybody can take it, read the book, and you're going to think that you have been literally told what's going to happen to you for the next 6 months. Now, if a person like me comes in and reads you, I read you before I read the cards. And then the cards are the confirmation for you. They're the confirmation for me. Whereas Scotty gets confirmations because of the way his mediumship is. He gets them right away and he hands you the confirmations. And then you go, whoa. And I go, whoa, wow, Scotty's pretty good at this. And, and we all have our thing, but it doesn't magically happen. You don't get here on the spirituality scale or in this scale of whatever you call it, and then you win, you're done. You're like the head of mediumship and you start a school.
You're never done.
You're never done. And
always learning.
You're always, and you're always going to fall. We're always going to fall and get back up. Scotty and I will always have ego bash us down. We are human beings. We are meant to fail. And then we learn from failing and try to not do it again. And we just keep going with that. And this is a huge part of why when I see comments that people will say, oh, I tried this and it didn't work, or I'm trying to do what Scotty does and I just can't get it. No, keep going and don't put all that negative stuff out there. Keep going. Meditation, call it something different. And do it twice a day. Sit down on a chair. You don't need anything. Sit down on a chair, put your hands on your lap, close your eyes, do it for a minute. Your first goal is 1 minute twice a day. That's it. Just sit there quietly. You won't get very far in a minute, but eventually you'll find that 2 minutes is a little bit more. And then you can get into the guided meditations. You can get into the music. You can get into all this stuff if you want to, but you're going to find out you don't really need all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's great in the beginning. Same with crystals. Many of us at the beginning, crystals were my go-to. I mean, I've got a billion. I have a billion crystals in here. And actually the one Scotty's holding is the only one I have throughout my whole house on every doorway. Selenite is on every doorway in my house. It is the one thing where I can talk into that. I ordered one of Scotty's things because now I'm into ghosts all of a sudden. And I ordered a recorder and nothing's in here because there's so much selenite in this house. And I do so much Reiki and energy clearing all the time and work on myself that nothing could even come in here, really wouldn't know what to do. And that's a big part of it. But you have to believe in you. If you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't believe in what you're not going to believe what you're hearing if you don't believe in you. Because you're hearing things that you're going, what was that? What was that? And here you're already tapping into your third eye. You're already hearing things that you think aren't really there. And, it's very interesting how this works, but you have to give it 110%. It doesn't, ego will consume anything less than that because that's just what it does. Yeah. It's meant to be, the reality for the non-reality things, the things that people don't put in, real reality kind of terms, I would say. But this art that I do, you guys, try it as your meditation and don't call it meditation, call it art. And I have on my Tangle tutorial playlist like 258 free. You don't have to do anything. You can come into my lives. I've been going live for 2 years, 7 to 10 times a week. And I didn't even know about subscriptions or goals. I've been doing this out of my own pocket, completely the wrong way. I was not doing it Scotty TikTok way. I was doing it the wrong way. So my husband does not like it when I buy pens anymore. But I just think of it as that it'll all come back to me some other way, and you have to look at it when you're doing that. Do things when you're practicing what you're doing. If you're doing card readings or practice with someone but get in the zone first. Don't have the worst day of your life and then go, hey, let me try and see who's coming to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to come talk to you. Nobody.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think I say this to people all the time. One of my superpowers is my ability to like compartmentalize everything. I'm very, very good at leaving work at work, home at home, and no matter what's happening in my life, unless it is something like a passing or like something really egregious is happening here in my life, I'm very good at putting my music on for 15 minutes, meditating, releasing everything for that time that I need to get the reading done, do my reading, do it, get it done, and be good at it, and then go back to dealing with my own issues. It's been one of the weird things I've been able to do, because I've had other people say the same thing, like, how do you put your life aside of all the things that are happening and then be able to move forward from there? And it's always just compartmentalization, and it comes through meditation, because once I learned how to relax and let go and really fall into that moment of like being in that moment and not worrying about tomorrow or the things that are happening, that's when it really started to open up. And I told Jess when we first started talking that when I was I want to say it was when I was in Kuwait. I wasn't in any combat there, but I was in Kuwait, and I had this huge piece of paper that I got. I don't know where I got it from. And I had my own little office there, and I was doing what essentially is a giant tangle. And I worked on it for like 3 months. I would just go into this back room, and there was a ton of stress otherwise, other things I was in charge of and things that I had to do. And I would sit in this back room, and I'd be on the phone calling people and making things happen that need to happen the whole time. My hand was just making basically chutes and ladders, tubes, triangles, square, like all kinds of crazy stuff. It was huge. It took 3 months. And when it was done, it looked like this huge piece of art that was just done. And had I really known what I was doing, it was basically like decompression and removing myself from the stress at the moment. Had I known that that's what I was doing, I probably would have kept it as a cool example. But looking back, it was something that my body or my instinct or whatever it was taught me how to do. So moving on in life, whenever I would start to get stressed out, immediately I'd just pick up a pen and just start doing that over again. And I realized like, oh, this is a really great way for me to decompress and let go of stuff and just focus on what's in front of me and create something, even when it's nothing. Right. So that's why I said your stuff is really cool, because you come up with these amazing patterns. They look like spider webs, and they're just like pieces of art.
Mine, and I love it because we organically figure it out live. I'll just say, all right, you guys, what are we gonna, and I'll ask these amazing, you guys are all amazing, by the way. I will say, what do you guys, they'll know a name of a tangle, and or they'll say, I want to draw something that looks like this, or I want to draw something that looks like this. But this is what I have to say. Number one is, if you can like get rid of all of the negative connotations meditation has that you have in your mind, because whether you are a medium, intuitive or not, it's something you should have in your daily practice of life. It is literally I am ADHD. I am everything you can think of plus one. And people come in and they'll say, I can't do these. Or the biggest comments I'll get in my tangles is, no, I can't do this. I have ADHD. I'm like, yeah, me too. But if you come in, it's actually really nice when you come in. And when you can do it on your own time, you can be playing music, you can have some tea or whatever. But every day you should be finding a moment to calm your mind however you choose, whether it's tangle, if you look up transcendental meditation, lots of big people, famous people do it. Jerry Seinfeld will tell you he does it and has been doing it for years, Clint Eastwood. And it is a matter of being in silence for 20 minutes twice a day. Now, that may seem like a lot, but I mean, try it. Why not try it? If all these people are doing it and it's been around as long as transcendental meditation has been, which by the way, I have started doing that and it's been life changing, life changing. Now, I teach tangling for the people who absolutely love tangling, love creativity, but really, I love it for the people who say they'll never meditate. And I get them in and I go, grab a pen, any piece of paper, grab your recycling out of your recycling bin, cut open the cereal box, grab a Sharpie, use envelopes from the bills that you don't want to pay or that, finances aren't great right now. Let's tangle on the envelope with a pen from the junk drawer. You don't need anything fancy. And just repetitively, you guys, this is how easy it is. Repetitively, look, I even got fancy. I got something from the Dollar Tree. Look. Repetitively, here's a teardrop. Repetitively, take this teardrop, right? And then add another teardrop to it. And add another teardrop to it. And keep going. This is a tangle called flux. But if you do a whole page of it, tell me where your mind goes. Because I'm going to guarantee that it goes somewhere where you're like, hey. So the tangles, when we do them, somebody made a great point, is what I always say in my lives is the tangles are about the journey to the end of the tangle, and the tangle's a bonus at the end. So when we're tangling, we're watching our breath, if we're breathing, if we're clenching our jaw, biting the inside of our cheek, clenching our toes. I love to clench my toes for some reason. But with ADHD, I try to shift that. I try to shift it somewhere else. So what I'll say is, okay, they'll say, oh, I realized I was holding my breath. Now I'm not anymore. I'm like, okay, but where is it now? Where did it move to now? And then they'll be like, oh, well, my hands hurt really bad because I'm squeezing the pen like it's going to pop out of my hand. And so until you get used to allowing this relaxation to come in, it's just the constant repetition of hearing my voice, and people will say, oh, I love your voice. And I love that because that's, I'll always take a compliment, especially on social media, but, cause usually it feels like it's the other way. And so, just repetitively listen to me say, are you holding your breath? How are you doing? And then people will message me all the time and say, number one, thank you for talking me off the ledge. Number two, I hear your voice in my head when I tangle. All the things that I say over and over and over again. In everything we do is repetition. But I will tell you one thing. You will not get to the place that Scotty is a medium or I am intuitively without finding that clearing space. It just does not, the energy won't allow it. It just won't. It will be a lot of weird things that don't really mix. Trust me, I've tried everything. I've tried to do everything to avoid the whole meditation, clearing the mind thing. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So funny. I'm quite the opposite. When I don't know what triggered inside of my brain, but when I read something and it was like, you need to meditate, I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I'll do that. And it was just like, all right. But I was like, well, how do you do that? And I had like these weird like ideas of what that might have been. So I was like, do I have to sit cross-legged, like in yoga pants? I was like, I'm not going to fit in yoga pants. What do I have to do here? So I read a couple books, and one of the things that I really liked in one of the books I read was, you can lay out flat on your back, put an eye mask on, and just choose some like white noise. And I was like, oh, I'll do that all day. That's just called almost taking a nap. So, yeah. I started doing that, and it was for me at first, like the real first time that I was like, oh, this is meditation. It was scary at first because what happens when you start clearing that space is, you really have to face yourself because there's no distractions from anywhere else. And once you start facing yourself, that ego, and it's like, you start thinking those big loud thoughts and you have to sit with yourself in that quietness. It gets pretty tough. But you have to get over it and you have to push through that if you want to end up in the space where we're at now. And this isn't a thing that you do once and it's over. This is a thing that any time that I have a reading, I tell people all the time, like I'll be like, hey, sorry I'm late. It's going to be another 10 minutes because I know that I haven't hit that hurdle yet that I have to get over to get through the reading properly, to bring my best game forward, because I haven't been able to take my space and move all the crap from my day out of the way so I can just make that connection with the other side and the person we're sitting with. And I try to tell that to everybody. So if you're listening, it's really important. It's not just about clearing the space to speak with spirit, but it's clearing the space to speak with the person that you're going to speak with, because they have their own energy. And you know this. You know that if you're going to be a reader in any capacity, that you need to have an open, clear communication. And no matter what walk of life that person's coming from, you need to be open and clear for them to speak with you and be candid and open about the messages that they want to give you in order to understand what's coming in from the other side. It's really important. Because the second you put, and you all hear me say this all the time, the second you put your bias in any of it, your ego, into any reading, you're done. It's not going to work out, because you are now putting your own belief into something where it doesn't belong, because the person you're speaking with may not believe or have the same values as you. And certainly there's a very good chance that the person who's deceased is not going to believe the same stuff as you or have the same values. So you have to put it all aside and be a very clear, open space for them to just unload on you. And you have to be willing to listen to it all. And I think that that's where a lot of the artistry comes in, because I have learned how to do it through music, but I am a musician. So when I put on my headphones and I just listen to white noise or tones, I'm focused on that. Jess has learned how to do that through her drawing and her technique of letting go and watching the lines and and I can see it, right? So I'm like saying like, okay, so now we have the pen in our hand and we can watch the ink literally flow out of the pen and onto the paper. Where's it going? I'm not sure, but we're going to end up somewhere. And what else is happening in here? So I went from thinking about my pen in my hand to the ink coming out of the tip, to the paper, to it soaking into the paper.
Yes.
And now where am I
Yes.
going? What's next after that? So it's a meditation. It's a focus. And ADHD, the hyper focus, that's what you want to do. You want to take it and give it a mission, something to do. And that's how you accomplish these things.
Yeah, the ego is a thing, and it'll always knock you right back down. It has a way of putting you in your place really fast. And, you'll know. And it's okay for those of us in this type of field to stop, take a breath, tell your ego, this is not the time or the place, or take your moment, but don't jip, whoever you're talking to, whether even it's yourself, maybe it's your own tangle that you're doing and your ego's trying to come in and draw a straight line over and over again. You're not going to draw a straight line. Get over it. Get over it. And, people will still come back with that same thing. And I'm like, well, and then they'll say, well, when do I get over this? Well, whenever you decide that you're going to start taking all these, I like chakras to picture them as pinwheels, right? So chakras are our energy centers, right? So we've got the root, which is red, and we've got sacral, that's orange, and our solar plexus is yellow, that's our power. And then we go up to the heart, green, and we go up. And I picture them all spinning and open when I'm open. Now, we all know when we're not. Great, because when chakras are not doing okay, you know what happens? Physically, we start having symptoms because energy that we have affects our body. Yep. And so when we're out of whack, that's what pushed me into Reiki and made me realize mediumship, it's great and I love to do it. It's not my calling, and I'm okay with that. Now, some people, Scotty's great at it. It's definitely his calling. I want to do something different to help people get out of the space of wanting to be a medium to getting to the mediumship part, And Scotty knows oh my gosh, somebody put an elephant on my face. That doesn't go with my sweatshirt. Oh, that does. But it's a really cool process, but it also is not always fun at the same time. Thank you, guys. Yeah. And you got to be willing to go through the sticky stuff of, people will do no work on themselves and think, I can spend this amount of money and I can buy all these books and I can buy all the crystals. And look, you guys, I mean, this is an amethyst mat that heats up. That is thousands of. I do lay on that, but I bought that at first thinking it was going to be my cure to meditation. No. So listen, I have all the crap that you guys may want to do. I've already done it. Just avoid it. Just talk to me and I'll tell you what you don't need. You need to just silently find a place to be calm. I don't have any tangles down here. I should have brought them down here. I was panicking because I thought I missed it. And so they're all up. But you guys can go, everybody can go to my tangles. You guys, my whole page is tangles. It's everywhere. I should have brought them down. See, I'm freaking out.
Relax. Take a breath.
Is anybody hot?
That's what happens when energy is colliding and you're getting anxious. So don't worry. We're fine. You don't need them. So all of you can take this idea of what you think a tangle is. I mean, here I'm just letting my hands roll. That's it.
Boom.
It ain't special. It's just the hand rolling, right? And I did repent just what she said. She did a teardrop. I sort of made a flower and when she started talking about chakras, this is the image that was rolling through for me.
That literally looks like them.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was like, oh, okay. And I just let my hand do the work. And I could have kept going to the edges of the paper. I may have done another one down here. I still might while we're doing this. So it's just a way to let yourself access that energy, that space to let go. And it's really such a great and brilliant way to do it. And I like what you said, like do it on a piece of mail. I used to do it on my homework in high school. You all are guilty of this and don't tell me you're not. Like, oh boy, math. I'm going to doodle away here. And it could be completely incoherent, or maybe it was just something silly that, you did a character of the teacher or something, but all of it was a way to escape what you were supposed to be doing in order to just give yourself the relief because you just didn't want to deal with what was in front of you. Well, instead of doing it for that reason, now we want to do it because we want to deal with the things that are beyond that. And I like the chakra thing with the pinwheels. So if anybody wants a really cool, easy exercise that I do all of the time, you all know how to turn a shower on. You reach out and you turn the knob. That's how I turn my chakras on and off. When they're like kind of spinning kind of low, I'll reach up and be like, okay, here's the purple one, spin. Here's the blue one, spin. Here's the green one, spin. I'll just do it all the way down, all 7 of them, right up and down. And then when I'm done, if I need to close up, I'll go the other way and just imagining kind of that energy just turning off and dimming out a little bit because they don't need to be full blast all the time. Otherwise, I might get tired.
And now that's a great thing to bring up because I know many people in your lives and myself and a couple other people are Reiki masters. But you don't need to be a Reiki master. Energy can be moved by anyone at any time. You can feel energy and the changes in your body just scanning yourself. You can take your hand and go like this over each chakra. If you do it over your head, you can actually feel how big your crown chakra opens. You'll actually be able to feel the circle of how open your crown chakra is. But you really have to be in this place of emptying out all the junk and being open to anything you see, feel, hear.
Yeah.
Because that's really important. You're going to miss the littlest thing that you hear. And that one time you hear it, you'll always hear it, And that's the exciting time when you really let, your ego just goes away and knows what to do. And then you hear it and you go, I am hearing that. That is what I've been hearing this whole time. And then you kind of go, I've been hearing this for so long and I've been, just blocked to not ignore it. And I tell people all that all the time. The signs that people miss because they make them either so literal sometimes or like sometimes if I have a message to give somebody that's like, I just gave one that was really bizarre. But I had to say, don't actually, blue jay. I said, don't picture specifically, it wasn't a blue jay, but that was one of them. It can be a cartoon. You can hear a song blue jay. You have to think of all the different ways. We get so blocked and we only think of a live flying blue jay.
Yeah,
and
the literal only way that we can express it. Yeah.
And you've got to be open to hearing your spirit guides or whatever you want to call them. You have to be open to just letting your guard down and see what you hear, feel, and you all have different clairsenses, and they're all very easy to look up. But you guys, I mean, you've got to be in a place of working on yourself and doing the work, and it is work. I mean, it's work, and it doesn't always feel good work, because we tend to really like to hold these little suitcases of junk throughout our body in our chakras and think we got to keep and hold on to this little bit of trauma here and this terrible thing here. And we like to hold them. And why? It's so heavy.
Yep.
And I thought for the longest time, oh, I'm just going to hold this and hold this. And then, when my mom died and my dad died 3 years later, and they were so young, and then I'm in a divorce, and I thought, I have got to figure it out. And I did. I said, listen, time has come to figure it out. And you just have to just go with the flow, because this is a thing. This is how life is. It's in flow, constant flow. It's always changing. It's always going to keep going. It's not going to stop and wait for you to decide, oh, you know what? I'm ready to do my mediumship work today, or I'm ready to work on me today. And I'd rather have you look at it as just working on yourself. Don't even focus on anything other than doing it for you, because that will just open the whole thing up even faster for you if you are doing it just for you and not for another reason. Because that's kind of what I had to do, was make it about me and for me. And that really started to change it from years to a little bit faster than years. But it's years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work.
It's not an overnight thing.
No, I tell people that all the time. For a straight year, I was doing, sitting with people doing readings and not charging anything, just to see like what was going to come of it. And it was all practice. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like an accident, like I'm just going to do this because I thought it was all BS. That was phony. Mm-hmm. And then people are like, how could you possibly be doing this and think that it's phony? You're pulling information out of somewhere. Where? Because it's things you couldn't possibly know. And when it really hit home were the times when it was like, I would say it to you and you would be like, I have no idea. And then 2 days later, I would get a message and be like, oh, we found out exactly what you were talking about. We had no idea. We had to call a relative and they knew exactly what we were talking about. So that's the sort of information where it really hit home for me, like that there was something more. And all this time I was just gathering the work, doing it. And now we're doing it more. Every day we're doing it. So it's,
and again, I'm not a fan of books. I'm not a fan of reading books about this, because most of the books written are about somebody else's journey. Go on your own. Scotty has a great recommendation for a mediumship book specifically by a medium. That's different. But books about spirituality, number one, if you're like me, they're going to be like this. They're over your head. They use words that I have no idea what they mean. And here there are things I've been experiencing the whole time. I just don't know that someone had to put a really long, silly word to it.
Yeah, people like to make themselves sound more intelligent than they are. One of the reasons why I think so many people like what I do here is because we keep it very down to earth and grounded. I'm a regular guy. I'm a regular dude. I just talk to you like anybody else. And I just say, I can do this interesting special thing, but you can too if you put the work in. And I don't have to give myself a bunch of titles or words or things to make it special or fancy, because just the fact that it's happening is fancy enough. It's very interesting.
It is. And the other thing is I kind of thought, and I wasn't looking for this at all. I was just becoming a Reiki master. I was just trying to find myself. And I had been a very good medium as a child, very good close imaginary friend. But then life starts to move and that goes away. And then when you're in a bad relationship, now for all you people who are around people that where you're in bad relationships, this is going to be a very challenging thing to do, because that energy is part of your energy. And I had to walk away from it to realize that, oh my gosh, I have all of a sudden I could hear people talking to me. Now it was weird. It was in my own voice. I was thinking it was going to be in a different voice, but it's my own voice. And once in a while it's a weird one, but I'm like, oh my gosh, are you talking to me? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and give that message, but this is not my like, I don't want to do this. I want to do this, and this.
I tell people that all the time, just because this is, and like you said, that those books are about other people's journeys, this is part of my journey. It is not yours. And the word, I try to tell folks this all the time. I tell you, my name here on TikTok is Scotty the Medium. However, I am not the medium. There's no such thing. I am a medium, but there are so many other different cool things that I do with this. I could have very well have called myself Scotty the Remote Viewer. And,
Oh yeah.
but nobody would know what that was. They'd be like, the hell is this? Nobody would really understand. But once you say like medium, people understand that kind of what you're talking about, right? Or Scotty the Psychic, right? But that sort of made me feel like I'd have to wear like a thing and have my ball and all that. And I just didn't want to do that either. So, when you come and greet anybody who does any of this energy work, Jess could go by Jess the Reiki Master or whatever. It's just a label. But for me, what I like to do is just let you know that's the step in the front door with us. It's what I'm very comfortable doing mediumship. It's to me like now it's like flexing a muscle. I can do it and I can let it go, and I can do it and I can let it go, and it's fun. It brings healing and everybody enjoys it, and it's great to do. But it opened up so many other doors because once I believed in it, all of these other things started happening as well. The remote viewing was another really interesting thing, and it has nothing to do with mediumship. It's just a weird psychic ability to be able to look at objects and places away from where you're consciously and physically at, which I thought was interesting. And the less I think about it, the better I am at it.
The future psychic, when you all of a sudden see things in the future, like when I started having like visions of what was coming, and one of them actually, many people in here were in this class. I was having a Zoom class, and I actually said, "You guys, I just heard that my father-in-law is going to die at 2:00." And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And it was like 1 something, and all of a sudden, my husband comes to the door, and he goes, "I got to go out to the hospital. Dad coded. It was 2:00."
Holy cow!
And I said, everybody send Reiki. It was a Reiki class. I said, everybody send Reiki while he rushes up there. We all sent Reiki, and they brought him back to life.
Holy cow.
Now, that freaks me. I mean, I love it because now I know, but the ego also likes to test you. Like, are you really going to believe this message that you're getting at 2:00? I've seen Scotty do this because I do this too, where someone will say, "Tell him about the green car." And I don't say anything. And then they say something about the green car. And I just want to throw a little fit that I didn't mention the green car.
Every time it makes me, drives me crazy when I'm like, I wish you didn't say that because I knew already. And then you just look like an idiot.
No, I do. Like, I'm like, well, I meant to tell you that. And then it's just,
I do it all the time. That's why one of the best things I do is when I do readings, all of my notes that I take, sometimes I'll write stuff down and not say it. And then when I'm done with the reading, people will be reading it and they'll be like, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Why? Is it important?" They're like, "This is probably like the most important piece of information you could have said to me." And I'm like, "Well, there you go. At least you knew you didn't say it to me, and it's right there in writing that I got it, right?" So it's always interesting when we see that. So I like how you said this is an important lesson for a lot of people. Your ego can be tested. Mine got tested really, and to this day, it's something I think about this probably 2 to 3 times a week, with my ego being tested and psychic foretelling and stuff. Some people here who have been with me a while have heard this before, but I once did a reading for a woman over the phone, and we connected really nice with a few people she wanted to hear from. And at the end of it, there was this man who I felt step forward, mediumship style. Like I felt like he stepped up to me. I described him, and I said, this gentleman choked to death. And she's like, it's crazy. It sounds like you're describing my dad, but he's very much alive. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. Okay. I just want to let you know it's odd that happened, but I feel like he stepped in from spirit. So I'm just going to say it. And she's like, he's alive. And I was like, okay. I think probably 2 or 3 days later, I got a message from her that her dad choked on a sandwich. Like 2 days later, she wrote me this message. She's like, I'm in the hospital with him right now. He choked on a sandwich and he passed away. And that was 110%. I'm not saying this is important. The universe did not kill anybody to teach me a lesson. It simply had a plan for that person, and I was a tiny little infinitesimal part of it, but it was a lesson for me about...
We have to learn our lessons.
There's nothing
and lessons are a tough thing to learn.
Yeah, there's
Nobody
no.
wants to learn a lesson. We want to all think that we've all learned the lessons already, and it's never going to happen, everybody. We're constantly going to fall down and get back up. The lessons will never fully be learned. You will never reach spiritual whatever. I don't even know. There's so
There's no
many weird
nirvana.
words they use that
Yeah.
don't listen to downloads and I mean just the words that come with this whole thing is probably what frustrated me the most. I think it would have been easier if they didn't give everything a name. But, if you're interested in how you're doing with yourself, like, I mean, just go for a walk, get into nature, I can't even tell you enough about nature grounding, get your feet in the ground, on the ground, especially when you feel like everything's been so much. Get your feet on the ground. You guys, energy chakras, they're such a big thing. They need this meditation time to get in alignment and to get back where they need to be, because then whatever you're studying or you're learning or you're working on has a place to flow.
Yeah. Big time.
It doesn't have a place to flow if you just keep constantly piling more, junk on. It just doesn't work that way.
So with all of your tangles, what's something like that is, I don't want to say the most important, but what's an important lesson that you've learned through doing that, aside from just learning how to do the meditation part of it? What is it bringing to you?
It's just the constant reminder of ego is the biggest thing. And I think that's our biggest hang up all the time. And so every time this comes up when we're tangling, we'll be drawing and someone will say, oh, I put this line in the wrong place. Well, first of all, what we're doing, there's no mistakes. So the only thing that we could have going on that would think we made a mistake is our ego, right? Because it's a no mistake thing. And I always tell people, we're not surgeons doing surgery. This is pen and paper. We can get another piece of pen and another paper and start again. But ego, many people are going to realize in tangling just how involved their ego is with just following repetitive drawings, because one of the things we do is the first thing we do is we put 4 dots on the piece of paper, because for many of you, and this is quite a few of you actually, the ego is going to not want to put a dot on this clean piece of paper. To start off, the ego is already setting you up for failure. It's already going.
Don't do that. You're going to screw it up.
So taking a pencil and putting 4 dots on the paper, that's the first thing we do. So we can just tell our ego, you know what? The jig is up. We have something on the paper now. And then everything else from there, we do in pen, because you know what? It's okay. It's paper. We don't need to do pencil and erase and redo. That's not the point of tangling. It's to commit to the ink of the pen and go with the flow. And flow. It is self-care, 100%. Everything I do on my social media platform is about self-care. And it's of some kind. But tangling is my favorite because it really does take me, like, you guys take one tangle and hours will go by and you'll be like, have I been tangling for hours? And don't call it meditation, call it tangling, because then you're just going to be like, oh, this is the best. And I have fun classes you guys can come to if you want to. And I do guided meditations in all of them. Some of the guided meditations I do live on TikTok free. I mean, I am about giving this and sharing this with everyone. That's my goal. It's not a moneymaker for me, just so you know.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
I love it. Do it.
Now. All right, you ready? She doesn't know I'm going to ask this, everybody. So just it's a dude, and I got asked to ask you. I didn't. This is
do it.
It came from somebody.
Oh gosh.
Have you ever thought about taking the photograph of a person, living or dead, doesn't matter, and focusing on that person and doing a tangle based on their personal energy?
Why do you know this? I literally keep it here thinking about tangling my mom.
So.
Why do you know that? Scotty! What? That's nuts! Yes. Oh my gosh.
So that's her way of just letting you know
Oh my gosh.
that message received. She understands that you're doing it.
She's sitting right here in front. I keep it right there to, oh my gosh.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah. No, yeah. She never saw me tangle, which makes sense that she would want to see that. My dad saw me become a tangle teacher before he passed, but my mom never did. So, oh my gosh, that's wild, you guys. Something I did do in my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, Chris Fleming's a real famous medium. He does all kinds of cool stuff. And he was like, you want to come help me out with this Paracon thing? And I was like, okay. And he was like, they filmed Groundhog's Day here. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming. And he was like, but Groundhog. And I was like, listen, you could have just let off with Groundhog's Day. I
was just going to say, so one of the things I talk about in tangling is we don't ever cross lines. So I say, don't cross the streams. And no one gets that except for Ghostbusters people. But I'll be like, you guys don't cross the streams. And and Wanji was in there and he goes, I love Ghostbusters. I said, I know some people will get it, but most don't. Oh my gosh, Fran lives in Woodstock. Fran, I'm staying at your house. And yeah, I can't believe how close you're going to be. That'll be very cool. That'll be very cool.
5th and 6th.
Of when?
This year.
What month did you say?
October.
Oh, October. Oh, it's a good time of year too.
Yep.
October.
It'll not be cold out there in October.
Listen, the Midwest, we like, it's just, I think it's going to be a cold, wet summer anyway, which just means it's going to be a beautiful fall, right?
Guess so.
Yeah. So you guys don't get really caught up in all these like big, just do your own thing and here's another word they'll use. Do what resonates with you. Do what aligns with you. Okay, do what feels good. Use your own intuition. What feels good to you? Intuition is a guidance that we're given that is a big yes or no. And what happens is the ego, right, tries to come in and tell the intuition to back off. And you've got to at some point say, listen, I'm going to follow my intuition on this one, ego. I think ego is great for finances and bills, but everything else, not to touch a hot stove, everything else.
Yeah, I say it all the time. That's putting your you ladies, I say the big boy voice, you can say the big lady voice, the big girl voice. You got to put that voice away. And that voice is really good for making you survive life and get through the stuff that needs to be done. But for like everything else, it's not important. It's really good survival. But once you're past that, if you're comfortable enough to not have to be in survival mode all the time, that's when you can really drop into that space and do the rest of this stuff. And I do understand for so many people, it's very difficult to get there. It's okay. That's the point of learning how to let go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just while we're chatting.
Look at that.
It's nothing special. It's just the crap that comes out. And but for anybody who wants to know, this is the jaggedness that it started off as. And it was overlapping and bad looking. And then if I kept going, it would just smooth itself out until it was really nice looking. But that's just those thoughts chilling out and becoming longer thought forms. So when I'm really, feeling ADHD, it's like, and then the more we relax and we chill, it starts to become a bigger spiral, a nice long line. And all of a sudden you're relaxed again and you can really get into the thoughts that you want to have.
Wow. And if you think of those mediums that just scribble all the time, they're doing the same thing. They're doing the scribbling
for that, right?
They're doing the scribbling back and forth as meditation. They're just not drawing anything.
I'm going to say something that may not be popular. I think that some of them saw the big guy Tyler doing it, and then they all were like, I'm going to do this.
I just had to do that puzzle piece. They've actually shut my lives off drawing when I didn't see the puzzle piece come up. Yeah, when he started doing that, I thought, why is everybody why don't you draw something nice? then that's my ADHD going. I'm not just going to go like this. Let me draw a big
Yeah.
flower
I
and then
wouldn't be
tell
able
you
to
what's going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to scribble the paper. That my brain wouldn't let me do that. That's the
No,
ego.
scribbling, it would not work for me.
Yeah.
No.
But for
no.
him, it works. He don't care. He just needs to get that. So it's almost like automatic writing. Did you ever do that?
Oh, tons.
So for anybody who doesn't know what automatic writing is, it is literally where you put your pen to the paper and instead of drawing nice lines, you just let words flow out. Usually it's cursive or some sort of regular block text that you don't think about. You just let your hand go and do the work and then go back and see what you wrote. Now, if you have handwriting like me that's terrible to start with, this may not be great for you. But if you have pretty penmanship, this is a really great thing that you can just do. And I highly recommend it because it helps get out thoughts that you don't even know you have until they're on
And
the
start
paper.
with one word. Start with the word leaf or some weird, and the writing will go. It will flow. You just get the first word down. Notebooks are super cheap at the dollar store, Five Below. You guys get cheap pens, paper. The doctor's office let them take you home now, so you're not stealing them. You can actually have them. The bank usually lets you keep them too because they're already taking all your money. So, I'm just saying there are ways to get pens and paper without buying. You don't need anything fancy to do these things. And none of this spiritual stuff or what none of your journey needs any of this stuff.
No,
It
not at
doesn't.
all.
It needs a silent place for you to calm everything down. Oh, look, he's getting a massage. For let everything calm down. That's the biggest thing. And then what the heck? That goes forever. You
Is it
guys,
different?
did you see the massage he's getting? Is that a cat?
Yeah, it's a little kitty cat.
heck?
My folks love to just give me massages with their kitty hands.
Yeah. You
It's
guys
very
are-
relaxing. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so ego is the key to keep it at bay. And you got to learn you're in control of you. Nothing else in this world but you. So be in control of you. And you have to be able to say, ego, go. I just keep watching this massage thing going on.
I'm sorry. I'm very relaxed right now.
No, anything, how can I help?
Here you
Oh,
go.
wait, I'm getting one.
Now you're getting a kitty massage. You're welcome.
Oh, that was fun. Thank you.
And you're getting your makeup done?
Well, I just got my makeup done. You got
Y'all are very fun. Thank you very much for that.
you guys, thanks.
So what's out there next for you? What's your next thing? Tell my audience who don't know who you are, what is your next thing?
My next thing is I am doing classes that I love about what we talked about tonight, very specific to get you through this hump of the journey, to help get, I can't get you through the hump. You gotta get over it yourself, but I am giving you every tool, everything that I have that I can to get you through it. And that's called I Am Enough. And then I do have an oracle card reading class that really isn't about card reading at all. It's about your ego and your intuition. And you got to turn one off and let the other one turn on. And if
Yeah.
you're not even at that part of your journey, it's not going to work anyway. So you can read all the cards you want to. And it sounds rude to say, but I just don't want you to waste time thinking that you're doing it when you know you didn't do the hard work yet, or the work that you're avoiding doing, because that's what I did. And I don't want to see other people stuck in limbo, because that's how I felt. I felt like I was stuck in limbo. So I'm going to do a tarot one too. But again, the same thing. I'm going to do a tarot class and tell you what the cards mean, but you can read I am going to tell you how you read the person based on where you're at, because you don't really need the cards.
Yeah,
You're
I tell
reading
people that all the
person's
time.
Energy.
They're
It's
like-
not about the cards at all. So if you want to buy fancy cards and put them on a shelf like I do, the cards are confirmations because as human beings, we need them. Scotty needs them. I need them. It's what keeps us going. You
They help.
need them, but that's it. They don't really tell you what's going on. We do that from our hard work that connects us to this whatnot, right? I don't even know what to say that's not going to cause comment. I don't know.
Yeah.
The mysterious unknown of universal energy, and
It's important to stay neutral on what might be over there. Who knows? and I
I
certainly
don't
don't try to
know.
put my belief in any of it.
No, I'm not.
Because I
No,
have my belief, but I don't want
I
you
have
to.
mine
I don't
too.
want I don't want anybody to believe what I believe unless you just came to believe that yourself.
Yeah,
So come to your own conclusions to what all of this is. I'm not
for
going to tell
sure.
you because I sure don't know. I'm just making my best way through this.
That's where I'm at. I'm stuck. 3 years since I lost my husband. Oh, Fran, you're in the right place. Listen, nobody is in the wrong place if you're around me or Scotty, because we're pretty cool. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm okay. Thanks, Carl.
I mean, he's okay.
I'm okay. I try to do my best. That's all I
Well,
can do.
Dawn scared me because she told me I was late and I was having a massive panic attack because I thought I was late. So,
Dawn,
so Dawn caused a panic attack, and
she
luckily I
messaged me and
love.
she was like, "Are we doing this at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock?" I was like, "Dawn, every day 9 o'clock. It's the only time I got. The
I
only
love
time I'm
Dawn.
available."
You guys hear me talk about Pure Energy. Scott talks about we love Dawn at Pure Energy Apothecary, but we were texting each other, and I'm like, oh my gosh, sheer panic. Now I'm going to tell you guys, this is how ego driven I am. These are all the notes that I wrote, pages and pages of notes for this live. Do you think I used those notes? No, my ego wrote those notes, and my in said with the flow, and my friend Jody too. Yeah, look at there's his notes. None.
That's what everybody watches when I do my lives with Sarah Lemos. She comes ready, and I text her every time, and I'm like, "Thank you for doing all of that work." 'Cause I don't know.
I
I'm
wrote
like,
everything
"Let's
down, and then I
play
was
it off the
like,
cuff, baby."
well, I watched Sarah do it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like she's like a book. And
I
I
know
thought,
she's really
the
good at what
minute
she
it
does.
started, I was like, no, I just have to just talk.
Listen, I promise you that I'm the kid in high school who sat behind you and was like, what happened there in World War II last night? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my husband passed chemistry from cheating off of me, so there's that.
I'm not
But
that guy. I'm not good at doing homework or work prior. Blank page. That's sort of what describes my life there, Krista. Krista Ward says, blank page, so funny.
yeah,
And that's all I am when it comes to mediumship, too. That's what
but you
makes me
have
good
to
at
be
it.
that way. You have to just let your book be written by you, but you have to be open to let the words start coming out. You guys, work has to be done to let the fun, cool stuff come in. And sometimes when you think the fun, cool stuff is coming in, it still is. It's a It's always a roller coaster. It's not. It just is. It'll always be like that,
I'm
and that's
supposed to.
okay. Uh oh,
People are
what?
telling me to tell your fans about my shirt. Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you're new here, this is my ghost eating donut eating ghost. He doesn't have a name. He's all right, though. He eats a lot of donuts just like me. We're going to be putting these shirts out pretty soon. So if you're interested in getting one of these, make sure you follow me, and we'll make sure
Yeah,
you
you
get.
guys follow Scotty, and the first 30 get a
The first?
special holographic sticker, which I will be one of those.
I hope so.
No, I will be one of those. And
That was
I may or
almost a
may
threat.
not have a tangle started upstairs of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we have the holographic ones.
I
and
have the actual black and white ghost version tangle of that started upstairs.
they're nice. Don't worry. We have
That'll
other
be a
ones.
nice little framed thing you can put up.
He needs a name.
You guys, he also has mugs. I mean, he's got a
Okay.
mug with that same thing on it that I just ordered.
Oh, did you?
And I got a poultrygeist that, I need to talk to him to pay. Oh, and then there's the regular sticker that's not
That's the right
holographic.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute? That's what's on the mug.
Yeah. It's nice. I like it. We had one of our.
Dawn just said she's making sure I get a shirt and the holographic sticker
Oh, shit.
because I want to
Listen,
put it on my stuff.
I did not have many of those made. They're literally
Well,
limited edition.
Listen.
That's our buddy, the Poltergeist.
Look I have one of those ordered too, a baby one.
It's going to come with some stuff.
Sweet. I can't wait to get the shirt because that'll be cool. I mean,
Yeah, the shirts.
it's kind of amazing when you wear stuff of people, how many people know who it is.
Oh.
I'm kind of shocked because I have a couple TikTok people that I really like that I wear some of their stuff and I'm like, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know who that is? I'm like, well, obviously if I'm wearing
Their shirt.
their shirt, you guys, I do have Smush Squad shirts in see, Scotty's so good at this sales stuff.
No,
Like
I'm not.
he's a
I have
really
a team of
good.
people. There's a team. They're here right now watching, and they're like, "He's not good at any of this. We are good at
I'm
this."
not good
And
about asking for gifts. I just started doing that about subscription. I'm like, I'm drawing the whole time, and then all of a sudden I realize I get kicked off a live because I don't move a puzzle piece. I'm like, really?
oh, yeah. Now you have to pay attention a little bit. No, Kaylee's like, I'm not good at this. You are good. My moderators are the best. They
Oh,
make
they're
sure that
yeah.
all this stuff happens. So make sure that you're putting together your team, and because without
Oh
them,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we couldn't do it. Zented says he's just chilling. Yeah, I am just chilling. And oh yeah, when we have my alter ego Scott with 3 T's, he does a lot of nonsense here. Yeah, the mods are definitely all that make this happen. So that's where I put my ego. My ego is my mods. They do everything for us.
Oh, they're asking where to get the chicken.
Oh, you want a chicken? I don't know if Wanty's in here.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
I don't think he is. I haven't seen
I don't
him.
think Wanty's in here right
He
now.
might be working. He's a fireman,
okay.
so he has important things to do. But if they
My
want a
mods
chicken,
are awesome.
make sure if they want a chicken, we sell smaller ones. You can't
Yeah,
have
that's what
one.
I got.
Oh,
I got the
I'm
I
lying.
got the title.
Wanty's here. I can't pin his comment because they don't let you when we're in these dual lives. But tell
Okay.
them to follow me, and they can figure out where to get this.
Follow
guy.
Scotty, and then
He's
you
like-
guys can
They have
find
little
out.
ones that are like this big.
Yeah, they're really cute.
There's
Wanty's
perfect.
World has a really cool video of them being made, though. And when you watch a 3D printer start at the bottom and make the whole thing, the video is very cool.
Cool, right?
It's very cool.
Yeah, he's the
Tangle
reason.
the chicken. Well, I will tangle the chicken after I tangle the ghost, and now I have to tangle all these past people, which I've been called to do for a long time.
Gotta
It's
do
just
it.
now
That was
Scotty's given me a message from my mom, pretty much, to get
Isn't
on
that
it.
crazy how that happened?
Wow, that's wild. Your readings last night blew me away.
Yeah, they were pretty good last night.
They were really good last night. And this is one thing I will tell people too, is because I was one of these people that I did not listen very well to the information Scotty was given. and it was really right in front of me when he was doing a reading. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Later on, I'm like, I think that's my mom. And sure enough, it was. But I let one little thing get in the way, one word, and I let it block everything else out. So make sure you guys aren't doing that. Like, especially not even just with Scotty readings, but with messages that are coming to you from right in front of your face that you're missing, because many of you are getting that stuff all the time and you're just missing it. Yeah, they're talking about the Poultrygeist videos and to watch them, that you won't regret it. They're really good. Watching them being made are awesome, and Scotty's videos of them are awesome.
Yeah, I have to come up with some new, fresh ideas. Those usually come as like inspiration, like out of like just something that happened during the day, and then I'm like, how can I make this a funny skit? And then I run and film them.
I think some of your next ones are going to come from some of your trips coming up.
I hope so. I know that there's going to be some that are coming up. Some of these funny skits that are going to be based on some of the funny stuff that I see here on TikTok. Like some people might know, if you've watched me before, when you watch tarot readers here on TikTok, they do something I like to call card slapping. And they take all their tarot cards and they knock them together and they flip them out, and the King of Spades jumps out, and they're like, this means that your boyfriend's cheating on you. So I think the Poultrygeist is going to probably maybe poke a little fun at that kind of stuff.
You guys, please
You might
don't
hear about it.
please don't buy the 3 questions for $20. Please don't do that stuff. It hurts my heart so much, because it's just not. Just don't
Do it.
just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a no-go, and be open to, gosh, you guys just meditate. I know nobody likes that word, or draw or journal or do something that's going to open this up. That is your key. That is your key to all of it. And it is not a magical key that you have to find somewhere. You have it. You have all that you need to get there. it's work. Daydream, yeah. It's work. It really is work. This is work. And I know that's not a word people like, but and the work doesn't ever go away
This is the
because
hardest hobby I've ever had
it
in my
is.
entire life.
I told my husband, I said, I've never worked harder at a second job hobby in my life. I mean, I'm working 22 hours a day and I'm like, and I drove 7 hours today for nursing. And I was like, I just got back and I was like, oh my gosh, I am just like,
I got to talk to this idiot.
but now I have to do all these Well, now I have to stay up all night to do videos because if you don't keep the content going, then we need to keep you guys all happy with new content, and
Not
that's why
me.
you guys have to
I don't
tap
care.
our videos and like them and comment and repost. Dang.
I am going to go to bed after this.
Oh, you're
because-
off.
Yep, thank God. I need a night off. We'll see if my brain lets me have it, but hopefully.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
even Wanty on my side is make sure you get some rest. Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Aerocardia. Oh, I like people are giving me all kinds of funny stuff to work with. I'm reading all of your comments, by the way, and thanks everybody who sent the gift. I appreciate you very much. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt our
No, I
talk.
couldn't either. I'm sorry, everybody. I was not.
But I want to say thanks to everybody who subscribed and who sent gifts. You guys all rock. I appreciate you very much. I try not to interrupt our talks when we're doing these things because I want to make sure we get our guests on both sides to have a good flow of conversation. So, thank you very much for everybody. Speaking of sleep, my brain is definitely going to shut off, and you all are going to watch me have drool come out of my mouth any minute now.
Yeah, me too.
Run on about 3 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. So, I am going to say goodnight to you all, and I want to say big thank you to Jess. So if you were just watching me and you found Jess, make sure you follow her. She does a lot of lives. And if you need a live creator who engages with you for like longer than an hour at a time, she's your person. You have incredible stamina for this. I'm on for an hour and I'm like,
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you shut it. I can't. I mean,
because the squirrels tell me to do things. Carl Zerbo, thank you so much. Oh my God. He just sent this crazy. Do you see that?
No, I didn't get to see your cool thing. What'd he send you?
Like a farm with a chicken on it. It was awesome.
Oh,
Thanks, Carl. That was really cool.
There's some new diamond ones that are out that I saw people had, like a diamond gun instead of the TikTok gun. There's a diamond one now.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on here. So for everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you
Thanks,
very
Scotty,
much.
for having me. You guys follow Scotty. I think all my people are following you, and I think most of them actually are subscribers to you too.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. I promise you in the next week here or so, we're going to be getting more subscribership stuff going again. It's just been a long couple days for me that we're doing. So it's all right. We're back to it. That's life, I guess.
Yeah, you guys, some
Thank
of those mediums I don't follow. Scotty's the only medium I follow. And Sarah, I follow Sarah, but they don't jive with me. The minute it does not feel right, just know that there's a reason it doesn't feel right and go with that. With anything, with anybody. If I don't resonate with you or feel good, then don't follow your gut. That's your guide. Your guide is your gut.
Exactly.
That's it. And now
My
Scotty's
gut.
going to bed and so am I.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
Scotty,
thank you very
you.
much. No, thank
Thanks,
you very much. I
everyone.
appreciate you. Thanks everybody for being here with us again. We appreciate you very much. If you have your live schedule up at all, I want to make sure we got it. Okay, she's live every day, so
Every day.
just hit your alert button and let it tell
Every
you when
day.
she's on. I am alive every day so
Yeah,
far
you
of my life, but live not always. So make sure you turn on your thing, and we'll see you. Okay. Thanks again. I appreciate
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thanks for coming with us, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Thanks, Scotty. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Good night. Peace signs. Peace signs. Peace signs. Peace signs. Peace signs.